We honor your dedication. We do not take for granted that you dedicate your final year of life to keeping hope alive for all of Lumiere. Some of you are leaving to change the world. Others to discover the secrets of our universe. Some to protect loved ones. Others to find meaning in our all-too-short lives. As you sail into the unknown, know that Lumiere stands with you. When you battle the Paintress, know that Lumiere fights with you. Let the stones of her monolith crumble. Let her body lie at the end of the world. Unable to paint another death, let the stars no longer be hidden by her oppressive silhouette. Let the world once again watch the sun rise without the shadow of her cursed figure. May the wind of renewal take you to the ends of the earth. Tomorrow comes. Thanks to you, Expedition 33.
I have always been a fan of the RPG genre when it comes to the single-player gaming experience. Some of my fondest memories specifically relate to spending hours trying to obtain a secret weapon or min-maxing my stats to completely obliterate every enemy the game had to offer. Though those things can be incredibly fun, the main reason I keep coming back to this style of game is for the beautiful stories the developers have blessed us with. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is a love letter to the fans of the genre who've spent years immersing themselves into these fictitious worlds and getting lost in the complexity and care that goes into creating one of the greatest games not only of this year, but of all time. From the moment we meet our protagonist, the emphasis on originality and creativity cannot be missed. Though shrouded in a bit of mystery, the world is set up for you very quickly, leaving you with the curiosity that will drive you forward into this adventure for the next 40 or so hours. No hand-holding is done as you progress through the seamless tutorial and uncover the tragedy that is life in Lumiere. I cannot understate how well the characters interact with each other and how their emotions add weight to the situation surrounding the Gamage. You can feel the passion for this project protruding through the screen due to the incredible performances of the motion capture and voice actors. The relationships that are explored throughout the prologue put things in perspective, but definitely leave you wanting more. Who is the Paintress, and why is she doing this to these innocent people?
And soon we'll get to do a lot more than throw rocks.
Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is presented to us in a 3-act structure and is executed flawlessly. At no point did I come across any pacing issues or lulls in the story. It kept me engaged at all times, slowly introducing more information in regards to the overall completion of the mission at hand. Though it can absolutely be interpreted as a much slower burn than most modern stories in today's games, I never felt like I was being told much through the way of exposition. Clair Obscur takes the old adage of show not tell to a whole nother level by allowing the player to uncover the details of the mystery and slowly align the pieces of the puzzle together to ultimately reach the end with a completely drawn out picture of full understanding.
Estelina, qué soledad. Tona Lora Tovla, Alina. Esta surano taquet, les renoirs, tonare fuego verso, Alina, ai.
I'm here.
I know. I know.
And then Act 1 ends, and you're back at square one with more questions than ever. If you know, you know. Of course, no role-playing game is without its intricate combat system. And for this one, we have to take it back to a time when things were played out on the screen in a much more methodical fashion. Expedition 33 fully leans into the tropes of the old guard, leaving us with a traditional turn-based system that has many more layers than you would think at first glance. Influences from games such as The Legend of Dragoon and Final Fantasy X can be easily seen sprinkled throughout the combat of Clair Obscur. Though these games are a lot older and thus much different from the combat systems we're used to today, one could argue that it's a refreshing sight to see the respect paid to those who paved the way. Of course, the positives don't stop there, as the additions of dodging, parrying, and QTE mechanics make it feel like combat is never on autopilot. and keeps you engaged at all times to maximize your sense of accomplishment. The free aim mechanic is also a very unique touch, as it adds a layer of resource management to the overall chess match that is the combat system of Expedition 33. Customization through the assignment of particular skills can lead to many overpowered and synergistic combinations if applied properly across the entire party. At times it can feel a bit overwhelming, but the game does a very good job of explaining these mechanics in a way that's memorable and thus extremely vital in the success of the party as they continue on their mission to abolish the Paintress and bring some sense of justice to those who have ventured before. I hope, if anything, other developers can see that sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel. As long as you put your heart and soul into your projects, you'll come out on top. One thing I was not expecting was the addition of some interesting minigames, as well as the most frustrating platforming I've experienced in a very long time. As an elder millennial, sometimes my patience runs a little thin when having to complete monotonous tasks, but on the other side of that coin, my stubbornness doesn't simply let me walk away from something without finishing it. Upon completion, there are some interesting rewards, so to speak, so it's not a total time waster. Although, it was a nice addition to help add some levity to the mostly heavy tone of the game's main story. It's very rare that a game can be such a masterpiece and not have any flaws. Now I say that subjectively because I'm a lot more easygoing than most individuals, so I tend to not nitpick and just enjoy the beauty I have the privilege of witnessing. However, we have to remember that this game was developed by a lesser known studio and therefore has some minor technical flaws. Depending on the power of the hardware you're playing on, the frame rate does at times take a few dips due to the demanding nature of Unreal Engine. For me, I experienced most of my issues while exploring the world map. Stutters and slowdowns were abundant at times, but I didn't really care too much because it didn't take away from my overall positive experience. Honestly, it's more of a me issue because my computer isn't a super powerful machine, but it got the job done and I was able to play the game all the way through. Outside of those previously mentioned hiccups, the issues were negligible and outweighed by the staggering amount of positives this game has to offer. All in all, it was a great experience, and I'm glad there are people out there who care enough to take risks because they know they have something special they'd like to share with the world. As great as this game is, there's so much to be said about its music. Most, if not all, RPGs have had phenomenal soundtracks to accompany the incredible stories that were being told. Clair Obscur checks those boxes. Character themes, battle sequences, explorable areas, music can be heard throughout your journey and increases the amount of depth in the world and to the characters in a way that makes them much easier to fall in love with. Music has been a huge part of my life in general, and video game OSTs are no different. The score for this game has a life of its own and gives us another way to consume more of what this incredible team has brought to us. With Expedition 33's soundtrack, I could just close my eyes, listen, and be transported to exactly where I was in the game, which I think makes the overall audio experience truly wonderful. Even now, after having completed the game, I still find myself diving into the soundtrack to enjoy the gorgeous melodies that were put together as part of this fascinating world. There's a lot of conversation surrounding Clair Obscur Expedition 33 in regard to accolades and Game of the Year nominations. I've never particularly allowed myself to look too deep into the Game Awards, but I do know some individuals measure the success of a game by how well it does at the celebration. I admittedly have been unable to play most of the other games that have been released so far this year, but I will say as far as impressions go, Expedition 33 deserves all the recognition it's been getting. After the dust settles, everyone will remember how hard the music hits, and selfishly, I'm glad the turn-based combat system allows us to bask in the glory that is this musical masterpiece.
No, it's just...
Why is it that some major AAA titles ship with so many issues, deterring from the enjoyment of the game itself? In today's world, for some reason, newer games sometimes feel incomplete. Day one patches, bugs, and game-breaking glitches in the game's overall movement system can provide many hurdles and diminish the positivity of the product. Coming from such a small studio with little to no major issues on launch, the attention to detail and importance of providing the player base with a complete product upon release speaks volumes to the levels of integrity by the developers. The gameplay felt responsive and coherent during my initial playthrough, and at no time did I feel as if the immersion was being ruined by minor issues that shouldn't really exist in 2025 with how much technology has advanced. The world map made sense and provided some slight linearity, but also had enough aspects of exploration that made it feel closer in line to the RPGs of old. For me, though, this game shines in its zone design. The environments feel fresh, the visuals are gorgeous, but the most incredible thing about the set design is its life. What I mean by this is the zones themselves have been given an identity that separates them from the other areas you uncover throughout the game. They take on their own personas and characteristics, making them feel like their own organic beings as opposed to just an area you have to pass through to continue the story's progression. The art direction was flawless in execution and helped me to immerse myself seamlessly into the world of Clair Obscur Expedition 33. The amount of love and passion put into the development of this game is intoxicating and helps to establish Expedition 33 as one of the greatest games of all time. We all love extra content. Don't worry, there's plenty here. RPGs have always contained a number of side quests littered throughout the game to give you options of branching paths to encourage exploration and dive deeper into the world without having to progress through the main story. Rewards, player XP, and the acquisition of usable items and skills are the main reasons to embark on these optional journeys. Expedition 33 has some of the best side quests I've seen in a very long time, and it's totally worth taking the extra time to complete them. Yes, even in 2025, it's possible to not only get a completed game upon release, but also get enough content to warrant the price tag. What's even more incredible is what Sandfall was able to package to us at the $50 price tag. Maybe money isn't the most important thing after all. With the increasing cost of gaming in general, it's nice to see a project enjoyed by so many people that doesn't completely break the bank. When something is given the level of care that Clair Obscur has been given, people will line up and gladly spend their hard-earned money to have a moving experience. And that's what we have here with Expedition 33. From start to finish, it was one hell of a ride. The ups and downs, the massive feeling of despair, the mild humor, which never truly felt out of place, and of course I cannot forget to mention the overwhelming sense of accomplishment immediately followed by the overwhelming sense of failure. Not to give any spoilers, but for those who come after, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. This game is gripping. It's tragic yet beautiful. But the best way I can describe this game is that it's something we wanted but didn't know we needed. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 will forever change the landscape of the gaming industry. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 asks a question that is very difficult for us as human beings to answer. Conversations will be had about this game for years to come, and that's what truly garners immortality. People will be talking about Expedition 33 the same way they gush over the likes of Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VII. And no, that's not hyperbolic in the slightest. When a game can make you feel the entire emotional spectrum, that game has done its job. In summary, drop what you're doing, grab your favorite snack and drink, and go play Clair Obscur Expedition 33. I assure you, You will not be disappointed.
Alicia, I told you to stay home. It's not good for you to see this. Yes, I understand. It's her fault, and she doesn't even know it. But you can't be here.
What are you talking about? What's my fault? What is this?
You should never have come. You're only going to make things worse for everyone. Now take your friends and go home. Let them spend their final year in peace. This is your only warning.
If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Consider leaving a like on the video, and feel free to subscribe so that we can keep the conversation going and give this game its proper flowers.
Can we talk?
Until we next cross paths, I am Dadman.
I love you all.
That's for your, if there's room.
There's always room.